All right. Stream is starting. Okay, I think we've gone live, but we haven't transitioned yet. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Transition. Hello, internets.
Hello, internets.
Hi, Internet. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Wonderful New Year.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what a nice way to do an opening would be like. The Happy New Year counts, right?
That was perfect.
Yeah.
We can do that for every beginning. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, we just kick off every stream with Happy New Year in 2022. Regardless of what happens throughout the year and regardless how far into the year we get.
Technically, it's a new year if you just consider it the new year from that day.
That's
Like a
true.
birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's going to be a Lunar New Year as well. We can wish people Happy New Year for that. That's
Or
another
is
thing.
Lunar New Year a more peaceful version of Chinese New Year?
Well, there's many New Years. Like, we'll track every ethnical New Year.
There's a Cambodian New Year that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll create a calendar for that. Tamil New Year.
Just name any ethnicity plus New Year.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about what we're going to be doing. Right. So, in this stream, I wanted to make a Python script, or prototype a Python script that will migrate a Spotify playlist that Satch made called Shinobi's Day Off, which is a sort of lo-fi, I don't know, anime, video game, music playlist that's kind of good for studying or good to play in the background. And I want to migrate it over to YouTube Music because that's what I use. So
Yeah,
thanks from...
Yeah, I was curious about that too, because I think we talked about it a bit when you were here, just about like, oh, why we use one app versus the other, and honestly, it kind of fell down to convenience, really. Like, the reason why we use one thing over the other is because we've been using it for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when Dunn asked me to send him my playlist, I was wondering, how are you even going to listen to this? It's on Spotify. Little did I know, there's a way.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, but before we do that, I wanted to show Satch how to adjust her security settings for her app so that she can use it. Which we, over the Christmas holidays, we launched that together when I was back in Toronto. And yeah, let's just do that real fast. So, so to do it, all you need to go is, you just need to go to the Firebase webpage, click on the Go to Console, and then you end up here. You will not have the same set of things as me, Satch, but you should at least have Leave a Journal. And then if you click on it, you get to this page, and now we need to click on something else, and I believe it is Firestore Database. And then there is a section up here called Rules, and then we click Rules. And just as a quick reminder, what these rules serve as is they decide whether or not the current logged in user is allowed to edit a given record in Firebase. And the rule that's currently specified here says that you are allowed to read and write any particular Firebase record as long as the time of the request is before January 1st, 2022. So these are not ideal rules because it means that anybody can read anybody's data as long as the time when the request is made is prior to January 1st. So right now this means nobody can read and write anything because today is January 10th. But if we change this to January 11th, right, and publish it, Now the app will be working again, because the rule now allows anybody to read and write. But again, anybody can read and write anybody's data in Firebase. So this is not great. If we ever were to launch this app, people could basically breach your database and get everybody's personal information. So not great. So whatever you put in here, Satch, for now, make it mostly test data. Don't put any actual real data, and nobody use the app for now. Unless you don't mind other people, having full access to it. But yeah, in the future, Satch, if you want to come in here and just adjust the date yourself for your own purposes, you can. And later, at some point, we'll come back and set up these rules correctly. These rules are designed so that we can say, if you are a certain username, match documents that are owned by you, and you can write a condition for that, and that will grant you only access to your own data, which is what we want going forwards.
Okay, but how would that look like if you were to do that? Would it be a long set of code?
Yeah, we would just edit this code some more. Yeah, we can go to this question mark here and get developer docs. And then I think we can just go in here and search for rules. And then...
Hard to hear us.
Oh yeah, if you guys could make your...
Yeah, I can turn up the gain.
Gain it.
Gaining. Mic test.
Testing 1, 2, 5.
Yeah, that's already sounding a lot better. If you could put even more gain on, I think that would be great.
All right, maxing gain.
Even more.
Ooh,
That's too much.
yeah, that might be slightly too much.
What about now?
Hello.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
I think the tough part too is matching our levels with your level. That's probably the...
Yeah.
When we get back to the drawing board here, we'll make sure that we do troubleshooting for that. We get in. But I think this is the setup. This is going to be our setup from now on.
Okay. We could okay. Yeah, we could chat about the setup some more. Okay. Yeah, so here's the section on basic security rules. So this is the default locked mode, which basically prevents all access. And here's one that allows authenticated users only. And here's an example of allowing only authenticated content to the owners of that content. So basically, we have this match that matches on a user ID, and then we say that the user's auth.uid must match their user ID. So this is basically what we're going to want. And if I was interested in testing this out right now, and if that was the purpose of this stream, we could do it. It doesn't look that complicated to make this update. But yeah, that's the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this allows...
Security.
Yeah, security. Here's another example of a thing where you can allow read access to everybody. But only... oh, I am getting a little bit of feedback from you guys. Just slightly.
Yeah, I'll turn it down just a smidge.
Mm-hmm. And then we have to create an update here. Yeah, so we could go through this later to understand what it's saying. Yeah, maybe you guys need to turn it down a little bit more. Sorry.
It's okay.
Could also turn done down, technically.
Oh yeah, you can turn me down on your side.
How's it now?
Let me test.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit coming back still for some reason. Okay. Maybe we could do headphones next time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's Firebase. Let's do what we're here for. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be using Jupyter, and Jupyter is basically, let me show it to you. Jupyter.
Oh.
It's with a Y. Hey, Mitt. So here is Jupyter. This is basically an environment where you can run code inside of a browser. And then I think you can click this button, try it in your browser, click things, and that thing starts up. There's a number of places that you can do things like this. There's Colab, and on Colab you can also do run Jupyter instances. And basically the idea here is with a notebook you can do some math, and you can write some Python code like this, and then it basically is going to execute in the browser. So the code that we've written here is Python code. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to set up our own, and so this one here is running on like off the internet from this website here, and I don't think it saves your data. So we're going to be creating our own instance on our computers and using our own instance of it. So let's get started with that. Leave. Let's close these down. So the way we're going to do this is actually with there's a number of ways. So for you guys might want to do it differently from me. Try doing it my way first, but if when you go to do it yourself you have some trouble, there's always this option. So the standard distribution of, like, this is the most common distribution of Jupyter. So like if you wanted to install this thing called Conda, there is this will give you instructions on how to do it. So if we go next, getting started here, you can follow along with the starting Conda and then skip the Windows section. You'll go down to the Mac section. There's an installation section here on how to get it on your computer. Yeah. So this is one option. But because I'm a developer first and a data scientist second, I don't use this distribution. This distribution is mainly used by all the data scientists out there. As a programmer, I tend to like to know exactly which Python I'm using and reuse that same Python for my data science things. It just keeps me personally, it feels like my system is kept cleaner that way. And so the way I do it is on a Mac anyway. I use Homebrew to install Python, and I use my installed Python from Homebrew to install Jupyter. So when I was there in Toronto with you guys, I already installed Homebrew for you and updated it to the latest, so you won't have to do that yourself.
We still have to download Jupyter.
But you still need to install Jupyter, yeah. So if you haven't already, we do need to install Python. So I think I've run this command before, and I believe this installs Python version 3 these days. Let me double check. Yeah, okay, so it says Python at 3.9 is already installed and up to date. So that would be the first step, brew install Python. Once you've done that, you now have an instance of Python on your computer, and if you type Python 3, you should get this version of Python, the one that we installed. And to double check that, we can type which Python 3, and it tells us that it's the Python 3 installed in Homebrew. So yeah, at some point later this year, we'll do a whole tutorial on getting terminal, like learning how to use the terminal the way that I use it. I think that'll be fun too. So far, so good.
Install Python. Oh, is that, what do I write?
This one up here.
I think you have it already, Satch, because you worked on Poker.
Yeah.
But I don't know how often the updates come out or anything.
You don't need to try and follow along with me in this session, Satch. I'll be going pretty fast anyway. So you don't need to try and follow along. You can just I'll pause to ask questions and stuff so you can be paying attention, but aside from that, don't worry about actually replicating.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Besides, you can watch the video later and follow along you can speed it up or slow it down to suit whatever it is you're doing.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oops. Okay.
Yes,
So
okay,
it's
waiting for you. Oh.
Did you install Python?
Done help me install it.
Okay. So once we've installed Python, next step here would be get a Jupyter instance running. So I have a little trick that doesn't work for the rest of the internet, but will work for you guys. So I'll try to do the one that works for everyone, as opposed to the one that only works for us. But the one that works for us is very convenient. So I'm going to show both. So first off, I want to create a workspace where we're going to be doing the migration. So I'm going to call this migrate music. So I'm creating a directory called migrate music. That's what this mkdir command does. And if I go into migrate music, it's currently an empty folder. There's nothing in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new virtual environment for this project. This is not usually actually what data scientists do. I think normally they would just maintain a single Jupyter instance. But one of the things that I like to do is have one instance per project that I'm working on. That way, the set of things I use in that project are, don't spill over to other projects by accident. So the way to do that is we say python 3-m venv.venv, and this creates a virtual environment in a folder called .venv. So that's done. And then we can activate it by doing .space venv bin activate. So in the terminal that I set up for Rickles and Satch, when you activate your virtual environment, it will tell you that it's active by putting it in this little bit here. So this is how you'll know. For everyone else, it should show up as parentheses somewhere in the path here. Now, if you type which Python, it tells you that it's using the Python inside your virtual environment. And this is exactly what we want, right?
So Mitt asks, what is the virtual environment?
What does the virtual environment do? Good question, Mitt. So the virtual environment is basically, think of it like multiple installations of the same app, but you install it separately for each project. So the virtual environment basically makes sure that the set of tools that you've installed for this particular project, in this case, migrate music, those tools won't be available to some other project by accident, right? So it's not strictly necessary. We could actually just install one global environment, but then you might install specialized tools for migrating music, and those same tools will now be available in some other project. And that could be problematic because maybe you accidentally depend on the tool when you didn't intend to. And then when you try to tell somebody else to use your project, it accidentally breaks for them because they, for some reason, depend on some obscure package that had nothing to do with your project in the first place. So that's the reason I tend to like to do it this way. But, you know, for like if you never plan to share this with anybody, this might not be, well, I mean, it's also helpful to not confuse yourself in some ways too. But in general, if you don't want to do it, it's kind of optional. It's not strictly necessary. I like doing it this way.
Organization.
Yes, exactly. It's for organizational purposes. And best of all, actually, all of my dependencies will live inside my Migrate Music project. If we didn't do this, every package you install gets installed into a global state environment. Okay, so let's now get to the installing of the packages. So, yeah, the packages. So the Jupyter packages that we want, I have them all stored. I feel like it's good to start out as organized as possible. Yes, that's also a good reason. So because you guys are also using my terminal, my dot files, there's a file in the dot files folder called requirements.txt. And I just maintain this for myself. It's a really great little file that contains a set of packages that I always want wherever I go with my Python. So this cat command basically writes out a file from a given location to the screen. So I did cat.files requirements, and this is the contents. Okay? And inside this file, each of the packages here is a useful tool that I've used before, and I typically just want it every time I create a new environment. So I just have this here. So in this case, we have, I always upgrade my pip. That's what this is. Requests is a library for making requests to websites. TQDM is a really great tool for making progress bars. I like progress bars because many of the scripts that I write take time to run. So it's really nice to very easily get a progress bar so that I can know how fast things are going. We're going to use this, actually. We're going to use TQDM and requests. We're going to use TQDM to do a progress bar on how many of the songs have migrated. It's going to be fun. Then we got Jupyter Lab. This is always a fun time. This is the main core tool that we're going to be using. Then there's a code formatter. I like having code formatters so that I don't have to guess how my code should be formatted. This is a thing for, stuff. A lot of these are related to formatting. IPyWidgets is a thing that will make the progress bar look nicer inside of Jupyter. More formatting code related things. NBDime is a tool for enabling me to submit Jupyter notebooks to GitHub and resolve conflicts when they occur. Then I have a data science section. These are all going to be useful tools for when we do data science. I'm not going to go through each one because we're going to spend time with that later when we're actually doing some data science together. A visualization section. These are all tools for making charts and plots and stuff inside of Jupyter. And then I have a machine learning section for libraries that do machine learning in Jupyter. So far, so good?
Yeah.
So I want to install all these files. So what I'm going to do, Jesse says, he's replying to Mitt. One thing that I like about having virtual enums, sometimes some tools require specific versions, say Python 2, 3. Virtual enums help manage this without tedious uninstallation and reinstalls. Yeah. I think that programmers like virtual environments far more than data scientists would. We like our isolation and avoiding the tedium of maintaining the installation across multiple folders and stuff.
I have a question about the playlist.
The playlist?
Does this apply for if I edit the playlist? Would you be able to like update your playlist for YouTube
Like automatically?
automatically?
Ooh, that's a good question. So we're gonna go quick and dirty. We're gonna do a one-time migration, but we can talk about how we could improve the script to do to make it smarter. But one thing you're gonna see when we do this is that this is not gonna be very reliable. I'm gonna reveal my hand here. I already attempted the migration. I had like a 20% hit rate on my first attempt, meaning to say only 20% of the songs actually migrated correctly. The other 80% didn't go well, but I thought that was still useful for people to see. So you'll get an idea of why this thing works, or the way that it works. But let's get there now. Okay, so I'm gonna cheat, and I'm just gonna install these tools now. And the way I do that is pip install -r, and I'm gonna pass my requirements file. But I'm gonna be nice about this. I'm gonna copy the file first to the current folder. So cp is copy my requirements file here. So now in my folder, I have my virtual environment and the requirements.txt file. And then I'm going to pip install my requirements. And so anybody following along on the internet in the future, I'm going to make this available on my GitHub, and you'll be able to download the requirements file and get the same requirements as what I have. Okay, so that command I ran, let me just scroll back up to it. Pip install -r. This -r says that there's a file called requirements.txt, and that inside that file contains all the requirements. Okay? If I wanted to install the packages directly, I would leave out this -r, and I would just name them one after the next. So I would say pip install like requests, tqdm, Jupyter Lab code formatter, and I just put them one after the next on this line.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, so this finished. So because of some weird things with my environment, I have to deactivate it first and then reactivate it. But now I can say which Jupyter to validate that the Jupyter I'm going to run now is coming from my virtual environment, right? And I can say Jupyter Lab. If you're not using a virtual environment, you won't have to do this little workaround. Okay, let's bring it up. Launch.
Launch.
Or lunch.
It launched.
Okay, let's put this in this window here. Okay, so here's my Jupyter environment. So far, so good, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we're going to do is create a new Jupyter notebook. Here it is. It's called Untitled, but I'm going to rename this to Shinobi's Day Off. So this Jupyter notebook is basically going to migrate only one playlist, the Shinobi's Day Off playlist. Yeah? Okay. So the first thing we need to do is get the playlist. Yeah? So let's do that. So here's the playlist that I want to migrate. Satch made it. She is known as SX CHIE on Spotify. So you can follow her and listen to all her great playlists. Right?
Follow me, y'all.
Yes.
Shinobi's Day Off. And I like the title of this playlist and everything. It's great. So
Thanks, Dad.
yeah. So how do we get these? How do we get this? So the first thing I like to do when I'm trying to do a thing is ask the Google how to do it. So we're just going to say read. Oh, by the way, if you go and look into how to, like, using tools, like existing tools that work to migrate Spotify to other things, they're all paid for tools. So this will actually be valuable because we'll be able to do it for free. I'm not sure if it's better, though, than the tools that you have to pay for. But yeah, let's go. So what we want to do is read, or we basically want to say Python Spotify API. And the very first thing is welcome. Spotify.
That's so awesome.
Welcome to Spotify. So Spotify will do the work for us. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just use it. So this wants us to pip install Spotify. So we'll do that.
I'm very amused by this.
Oh, yeah? So first of all, actually, a lot of these things I didn't actually need. So I'm just going to tidy up the requirements for what we're actually going to be doing. I did need all the Jupyter stuff, but I don't think I need NBDime. And I don't need the data science tools. And I don't need the visualization or the machine learning. So let's leave those there. And we're just going to create a section called dependencies. And I'm just going to add Spotify. Yeah? And looks like I need, oops. Oh, I'm not going to get the same font size. Okay, no worries. So now we'll just come here and say pip install Spotify. Not Spotify, Spotify. Run that. So now Spotify is installed in our environment. I don't need to keep that line. I can remove it. So one of the cool things about this environment that we're using, we can execute code in whatever order we like, and we can move the cells around and basically prototype as we go. And that's one of the reasons why I think I like this, as well as many data scientists like this. They don't have to, like, it's pretty easy to do prototypes. So let's try and read Shinobi's Day Off into our Jupyter environment. Yeah? So getting started, we need to import Spotify. That's step 1. All right, success. And then there is we need to do some things to get started. Auth manager. We need these are not what I want. I want this one. Okay. So we're going to be doing this thing called client credentials flow. Long story short, there are 2 ways, or multiple ways probably, of authenticating. Because, like, Spotify needs to know who you are before it allows you to just do things, right? So, but there's no place in a script for you to log in, right? So this basically enables us to do that. Okay.
Like, is it checking our IP address or something?
Yeah, I'll show you. So let's see here. Spotify API. So if we go to the Spotify API, quick start. Guides, actually, authorization guide. And we are doing the client credentials flow. So this is explaining how it works. And how to access. No, that's not what I want. Where is the link? Okay, so first we need to go to our dashboard. Here it is. Log into my dashboard. And then I've already created this app, but I'm going to, I think I'll just reuse it because why not? Or would you like to see me actually start from scratch? Let's see here, edit. I can delete this.
Yeah.
Delete the
Starting from scratch.
Starting from scratch? All right, you got it. Okay, so if you come to the dashboard, this is what you'll get. So we need to create a new app, right? So create an app, and then the app will be called Migrate to YouTube Music. This app migrates Spotify playlists to YouTube Music. I understand. Create. There it is. So there is a client ID and a client secret. So I'm going to reveal my client ID and client secret on this stream, which is maybe slightly bad because anybody on the stream will then be able to impersonate me on Spotify. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I won't.
Why don't you hide it?
What?
Or don't reveal it.
Yeah, put it off screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I will put it off screen. Give me a sec. So I'm going to, so let me see here. I need
Don't
to,
do it.
don't do it. Mitch says don't do it. Okay, nobody wants me to do it. All right, fine. I will not do it. Okay. But people need to know what I'm doing so that you can follow along later, yeah? So here's what I'm doing. This client ID and the secret that will be visible if I click show client secret, they need to be available to my Jupyter environment. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let me show you. So here's the terminal, right? And I'm just going to shut down the terminal for a sec. So if I do this, my Jupyter will now stop working. If you go back to Jupyter here, this will bring up an error saying something not connected. There it is, server connection error. Okay, so Jupyter is shut down. The reason I did that is because I need to make these credentials available to the environment that Jupyter is running in, right? You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you have to activate the credentials for load Jupyter.
Exactly. So the purpose, the reason being that it's that way I don't have to paste my credentials into the Jupyter notebook, which would be visible all the time, right? So this will make it only available in the environment, and you wouldn't otherwise see it anywhere. So what I say is we're going to go here, and we're going to call it, we'll call it Spotify client ID and Spotify secret. Yeah, okay. So we say export Spotify client ID equals, copy this guy, paste it. With me so far? So what this has done is it's made a variable called Spotify client ID. Echo $, Spotify client ID, and you can see that it's visible here. Yeah? Now, off stream, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to be exporting Spotify secret. Yeah? The client secret. Okay, so I just moved the terminal. Oh, I need to move the browser and everything. One sec.
Yeah, see through.
So essentially
Oh my
you're gonna
gosh.
give it, you're going to give it a name, and then when you pull it, it's going to be the name of your...
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Export. So I'm telling you what I'm typing now. Spotify client secret equals
This is so
paste.
mysterious.
All right, I've done it. Now let me clear the view so that you can't see it. It wouldn't have been a problem, just so you know. I could have, I can damn. Okay, people have seen it now.
It's like it was there the whole time.
Okay, let me try again. Reset my client secret. Okay. Okay, I got a new secret now.
Technically, since it was shown, you could have just did it and then reset it later.
It's okay.
But, you know.
It's okay.
I guess you can't reset it later because then you'd have to do the whole process over again.
This is going to happen twice, by the way. We have to do this once for Spotify, and then I have to do it again for YouTube. Oh, sad panda. All right. There we go. We're done. I managed to do it, and client secret's hidden, so life's good. Now we need to access the client secret from inside of Jupyter, right? So let's start up Jupyter Lab again. Jupyter Lab.
In Sailor Moon, in the Japanese anime, they just say, "C'est la Jupiter."
C'est la Jupyter. Okay. All right.
Never need to wonder what her name is.
You never need to. All right, here we go. So import OS. OS has a thing that lets us access the variables that we exported from the terminal. So we can do os.environ, and we can say Spotify client ID. And we can also say secret, but I'm only going to show that we can access the client, yeah? You with me so far? All right, we're making progress. So now we just need to, I can close this window. I'll leave this one open because we can reuse it. So here's what they were like this. I basically did this exact thing. A Sailor Jupyter IDE theme. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Oh my gourd.
Oh my god. Indeed. Okay. So, all right. So now that we've gotten this far, we can do... oh, this is nice. We can just do this. And this should just work. So I don't actually need to even import OS because by default, it will read those things. Oops. So I like to call this the Spotify client because the other one's going to be the YouTube music client. We're going to have one client for talking to Spotify and another client for talking to YouTube. Okay? And this needs to be Spotify dot something or other. What was it? Spotify dot OAuth2. Let's give it a try. Oh no, I did that wrong. It needs to go here. Go.
There's a downside to the Spotify business.
What is it? Spotify business?
You have to
Oh.
put Spotify in Spotify.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Get confusing.
I said Spotify client ID, and this thing is looking for Spotify client ID.
That's what you said.
Yes, that's just...
You called it.
Did it, yeah.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to redo it off screen one last time. This won't take me long, I promise. Let's go. I just need to do spot to replace the F with a with a P. And
Oh, Jesse must be a mod because he has a spanner. No, what's this thing called?
A wrench?
A wrench? He has a wrench next to his
This
name.
thing.
yes, I made Jesse's the one making sure that I don't get trolls and protecting my sense of well-being. Thank you,
Yes.
Jesse.
Oh my god, he's like Ratchet. From Ratchet and Clank. Swatting away over...
Is that from
Oh,
Final
weird.
Fantasy?
No, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
I don't know.
Ratchet and Clank from Ratchet and Clank.
I don't get the reference. I'm gonna check. Oh, video game.
Okay, ready for this?
Oh, that guy.
Ready for this, Satch?
Ready.
Okay, no errors. That was great. Now we get to finally, here we go, Spotify client dot list, or what is it? Read. How do I get the playlists? Let's type playlist. Playlist items. Is this what I want? Yes, this is what I want. So this will retrieve all of the items in the playlist. So Satch, what you laughing about, Mitt?
I think the spanner thing. I mean the wrench thing.
Oh, I missed that. I was caught up in the coding. I didn't notice. Sad me.
It's okay.
It's okay. We all get lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce.
The sauce code.
The sauce.
Okay. Ready for this? So this, if
Ready.
things work, should retrieve your playlist from the internets inside of Jupyter. Ooh, something happened. So, items. And then we have all the items. So the first song is apparently by an artist called Nikitaz. And it is called... No idea. Hold on. I think I got to scroll through this all this garbage.
Where's these letters?
This is where all the these are all the countries that this song will be available in.
Wow.
I think. That's a guess, actually.
I see name, stories.
Stories, yes. There it is. Name.
Also name again.
Indeed. Okay. Okay. So this is a highly structured file, right? We got a top-level structure, and then we have an element called items. And inside of items, this square bracket, if you recall, do you remember what that is, Satch?
What? Function.
Function. From JavaScript. Remember when we did this? Do you remember? Rickles?
Oh, that's when we converting it to Python, right?
This happens to be both the same in JavaScript and Python. Do you remember what this is? A square bracket?
Oh, when you list things, right?
Yes, that's right. It's a list of things. That's correct. Good job, Satch.
Yes.
So inside this list...
That was function. Sorry.
What about this one here? Do you remember what this does? You can use the JavaScript word for it.
Oh, this is the curly brace. That's a function, isn't it?
So parentheses for calling a function. Parens, if you remember.
Friends.
And curly braces for objects in JavaScript. In Python.
Object.
Yeah.
I did say object.
I heard you
function.
actually. I heard you say object, and then you corrected yourself for some reason. So if you remember do you remember what this thing does, or what we use these dictionary things for?
Yeah, kind of.
We use it to represent a mapping, right? So key and value. So we're mapping.
Yeah.
Remember, I kept talking about a phone book, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
so we have a list of phone book entries, and each phone book is essentially the data for each song that we're going to work with. Okay. So what we need to do in order to build the playlist on YouTube Music is we need to search YouTube Music for the song that we want. Yeah, that's the thing we're going to be automating. So here's some YouTube Music, and let's do a test. Yeah. What we're going to do is search for. Excuse me. We're going to search for a song called. What's the song called? So there's track. Track name is called Stories. So we're searching for a song called Stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose album is called... Oh no, I think the album is called Stories.
What was...
My phone went off.
Why did it do that? I'm gonna check my actual playlist.
It should be the first song, right?
Yes, this will be the
I thought
first
that was
song.
by Akezora or something.
Oh, so Don't Talk is actually the name of the first song, yeah? So let's actually search for that, because we need to find Don't Talk. Don't...
Yeah, where's that object?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so,
The album is Stories.
so here is Don't Talk. Ooh, it's way down there. Okay. So let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is retrieve this playlist and store it into a response object. So we'll just say resp equals this. Oh, why did it fail? Connection reset by peer. Okay, that was random. Run it again. Okay. Resp items. So we can make items equal to this. Okay? And then if we look at items, it's the list that we looked at, right? We've sort of drilled down into it so that we're looking at the list now. And we can look at the first item by saying item is equal to items 0. So this is the first song. This one is the song called Don't Talk in the album Stories by Nikitaz, right? So if I look at item now, we're just looking at that Nikitaz song, Don't Talk. The reason why I'm doing this is because I need a way to access all of the pieces so that I can do my search in YouTube Music, right? So the first thing we're going to get is this Don't Talk thing. It looks like it's under the key name, right? Remember in the phone book, we're looking for the key element. And in this case here, it's called name. Yeah, I think it's called name. Actually, no, it's under something else. It's under track. So first we need to go to the track, then we need to go to the name. Track. And then we need to go to name. Don't Talk. So this is the title of the song. With me so far? So I'm just going to do a thing where I generate my query at the bottom here. So the query that I'm going to search Google for, YouTube Music for, is going to be Don't Talk, followed by a space, followed by, I'm guessing the artist, and then the album. Or maybe we could do title, album, artist. Sound good? Okay, so we've extracted the title. The next thing we need is the album. So that should also be in the track, I believe. Is it? Yeah, there is a key in the track called album. So if we access album, we get the album here. We have the artist for the album. There should be a name for this. Name. Name is Stories. That's what we want. Name. There is Stories.
Oh, nice.
So now we can say that the album is this. Yeah? And last but not least, we need the, what is it we need? The artist, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So artist is a little bit weird, isn't it? Artists. It's plural. Is there a Second section for artist? Thankfully, no, I guess. Okay.
Hi,
Yeah.
Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah. Okay. So do you see there's going to be a little bit of an issue here? It looks like the artist is associated with the album as opposed to the track, which is interesting. Or wait.
Oh, it's possible. It's like a single where like the album is also the single.
Oh, and there's another. Actually, there is more than one artist. There's an artist down here. Okay, so it's not necessarily associated with the album. It could also be associated. Let's see if this works. Artists. Okay. So we do have an artist for the track. Nikitaz is still the artist. Yeah? So far so good? Okay. All right. So there's a problem, yeah? This is a list of artists, right? So you can have more than one artist for more than one artist for a given track, yeah?
Right.
So we can't just pull the artist name out because we need to actually go through every artist and pull out their name and put them all together. So that would require a bit of Python skill, which I happen to have. So I'll just do it, yeah? Artists. But this will be a whole, like when we start learning Python, this will be a whole thing for you guys. Like you can do this for homework. It'll be fun for you to try, but let's do it. Track. And then artists, yeah? So what we need to do is loop through this and then pull out every name and then turn it into part of the query such that for every artist, they basically it's like separated by spaces, right? So the way that we do that is this. We need to join a bunch of elements where each artist, we need to pull out the name of each artist in the artists list if the type is equal to artist. Left out the in. There it is. Don't talk stories, Nikitaz.
Oh, nice.
Bruh.
Yeah. That Nikitaz is always lying to you.
Don't talk.
Let's see if this works. So we're going to search my YouTube music now for it. Okay, top results, yeah?
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Okay. Next. So we've gotten this far. Next step is, well, we're running out of time. Do we have enough time?
We can go for 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
10 more minutes. Okay. The next thing we need to do is be able to create a playlist in YouTube Music and populate it now with this song that we did a search for and just insert it. Once we achieve that, it's just a matter of loop over every song and do the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So, next step is Google search for YouTube Music API. Go. And then here's a thing, YT Music API. It's also a Python library, thankfully. So we can.
Okay, it exists on GitHub and like a page for it. Docs page.
Yeah. You already found that, huh?
Where do you see Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to install this. And I'm just going to do it right here. Pip install YouTube Music API. Installed. Done. Okay. Now we need to import it. Import YT Music API. Success. Okay, let's find out how to use it. So we'll go to Setup, Authenticated Requests. Okay. So I have to do a thing. I've done this once, and I'm going to have to do a thing again. But basically, I just follow the instructions here for setting up the headers. Now, here's the thing. YouTube Music doesn't have a public API the way that Spotify does. Spotify has an actual API for developers to use. YouTube Music does not. And so this API actually pretends to just... It's a library that pretends to be a browser and does things as if you were using the browser. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
So what this library does is it kind of behaves like a browser under the hood. It pretends to be a browser and just acts like you. So I am going to follow the instructions real fast to basically create a authorization file that will enable YouTube Music to behave like me, to act like me on the internet. On YouTube Music anyway. Sound good? I'm just basically following the instructions here, okay? So I'm just going to go off here and do that. So I'm following the instructions for Chrome. Basically I'm opening up my developer tools, and I'm going to the network tab. And then I'm going to the library button. And sure enough, I have a browse link provided. That was nice. Okay. And once I've done that, there is this thing in the headers, accept star.star in the request headers. I am copying all of them. Okay, I have copied them. And I need to now pass them to this bit of code here. So let's do that. So I'm going to basically say ytmusicAPI.ytmusic.setup. And I need to say file path equals headers auth.json. And I need to pass it the other one, which is this line here, headers raw equals the thing I copied from my browser. So sorry I can't show it to you. Okay, I need to also move this off screen just a sec. Sorry about that.
It's just for the mystery and intrigue.
The intrigue. Okay, that succeeded. Okay. All right, we're back.
No.
So now, after I've done this, headers underscore auth.json is a file that now exists, and this will allow Jupyter to act like me on YouTube Music, right? So the next thing we want to do is create a client. So we say ytmusic client is equal to what? I don't know. We need to create it. I think we just need to grab it off of one of these web pages. Oh, where did the page go? Oh, right here. So the next thing is usage. Just this, yeah? And I think you need to pass it the headers auth. Okay, ready to go. So paste that there, run. Okay, success. Next thing to do is create the playlist, yeah? What are we going to call it?
So, oh, yeah, I called the same thing. Oh, no, does it have to be different?
No. Let's do the same thing. Shinobi's Day Off. Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this playlist is going to return the playlist ID on YouTube that I will then need to use when I'm updating the playlist. So I'm going to call this YT playlist ID. Okay. And I need a description. So the description will be migrated Spotify playlist. And then I'm going to paste Satch's playlist so that I can always follow the link back. Sound good? Okay, run that. Beautiful. Looks like it worked.
Nice.
So this is my playlist ID. Pla-AV. Let's see if it worked. If it worked, if it worked, then I almost showed everybody my after putting all that effort into hiding it. Okay.
So tempting.
If I refresh this page, I should now have, ooh, there it is, Shinobi's Day Off, with 0 songs in it.
The playlist has been created.
It has been created. So the next step, So the next step is search YouTube Music for the item that we queried for here, and then add it to the playlist. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. So we just say YT Music client dot, and I think there's a search. Okay, search. And then we'll pass it the query, and let's see what it does. So it's, look at what it is. What is that there, Satch?
It's your, where again? List.
Yep. We got a list of results, yeah? And each result is an
object.
Dictionary. We'll call them dictionaries in Python. But yes, an object. A JavaScript object, a dictionary.
Okay.
And it has a category, top result. It has a result type, song. Now this makes sense, right? Because if you search YouTube Music, oh, and by the way, Don't Talk Stories Nikitaz is now going to be there in my search history, because YouTube Music is behaving like me. Anyway.
Ooh.
So we got a top result.
Just 1 zeros, aren't we?
Especially if you are from Reboot.
Yes.
Yes.
They are.
Dot.
Oh, Satch, you got cut off. I didn't know. That's not good.
Oh.
This whole
It's
time
okay,
you've
you
been
got
cut
my good
off.
side. My forehead.
Okay.
This looked like his name Reggie. Kept a dog. We'll show Olshi as a pic later.
He's a pug.
Pug.
Right.
So we have Don't Talk here, which is one of the top results, and we have 3 songs, which are the songs, and then there are videos, there's an album, and there's community playlists when you do a search, yeah? Oh, wait. No, that doesn't do anything. Okay. Now, if we go back to here, we can see there's a top result. There is songs. There is videos. More videos. And albums. So the only thing we want to add to our playlist are songs, yeah? So we need to make sure that we only select the song. Now I'm gonna do the easy thing. What we're gonna do is just loop through the items inside the list and pull out the first song that we see. And if the title matches, we'll add it to the playlist.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So here we're just going to say, we're going to do this thing, resp equals this. So this is going to be the list. Okay. Take a look at it. And we're going to write a for loop over this, yeah? I'm going to leave that one right there so that I can see the data that we're going to be handling. I'm going to say for item in, or maybe I should have called this search results. Search results equals this. For result in the search results. And we just need to say if result. So remember, this is a list, right? So we're looping through each element in the list, each dictionary. And if the result type is a song, right? Because we only care about songs. And the result title is equal to our song title from up here. Yeah? Then we want to take it and add it to our playlists that we want to, we basically want to grab the reference to it and then add it to our playlist. So the reference is actually given by this video ID, right? This is the, if you go to YouTube Music, and then you grab this video ID here. Let's go to YouTube real fast and I'll show you. YouTube.com. And then let's load, oh, that's, I don't want to play myself. Let's go with this one. And then if I paste that YouTube video ID there, it's going to play this song. There it is. Right? So this is the canonical reference to the song. Okay?
Nice.
Yeah. So this is what I care about. So I'm going to say video ID. We should make this a function actually. Is equal to or video IDs actually. Let's make it a list because we're going to be doing this for all the songs, right? So we're just going to, every time we see the video ID we care about, we'll append it to this video ID. So if this matches, then we'll say result video IDs dot append result of video ID. And we want to stop the loop here. And otherwise, we want to print an error. We want to print could not find a match for title album artists, basically. For title, or we can actually just put the query here. Okay, so that worked. We can take a look at it. Video IDs. There it is. Now we just need to save this video ID into the playlist. Right? So let's try it. So we just say YT music. So now that we've gathered a video ID from the search result, we can take the video ID and save it to the playlist that we created. Dot add playlist items, and it takes the YouTube playlist ID we made, and it takes the list of video IDs. Video IDs. Run that. Status succeeded. Okay. So if we go back to our playlist now, let's go to Shinobi's Day Off. We now have one song on there. The song we just searched for and added.
Rifty beats.
These were all suggested based on this song. These are the suggestions. I also like Rifty Beats. Rifty Beats is good. Okay.
I just looked up his. Actually,
Hey.
yeah. I added him to my playlist.
All right. We're all. Can I have 5 more minutes?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. The last step here is very simple. Loop through every song. Do that search. So like we're going to combine everything now. And do the search. The first time we see the song, write it. And then we're done. Now, I skipped over one little thing that we didn't get to do, which is that when we retrieve the playlist items, we only get the first 100. So anything after that, we don't get. We need to specify like offsets and stuff. So let me quickly get all the songs that we care about. Okay. Yeah. So what we'll do, so we just basically need a loop. Okay. So here's how we're going to do it. We'll say, let's create a function called playlist items that takes the Spotify playlist ID. And what it does is it essentially needs to retrieve all of the, let's indent this. It needs to retrieve all of the items by incrementing the offset by 100 each time. So the reason why I know this is if you look at resp, you'll see that, oh, that's the wrong resp because I reused resp. But let's look at this resp. If we look at this resp, we'll see that up here, the offset is 0 and there's a limit of 100. And if you scroll down to the almost bottom of this, oh boy, this is hard to, you'll see that the total was 116. And that means that there are more elements in your playlist than was retrieved by this query. So you need to make another query with a new offset of 100, because that's what they're telling you to do here. Offset equals 100, right? So let's do that. Basically, we need to pass an offset value starting from 0, then 100, then 200, until there are no elements left. How do we know when there's no elements left? Basically, we're going to see that next will have no more entries. It will essentially be none. We can verify that actually. So we can go up to here and then we can say offset equals 100 and then run this again. And now when we look at this, next is now none because we've retrieved every element.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So let's do this. So we're going to make a loop that loops over offset, incrementing it by 100 each time. And I'm going to use a little trick in Python called itertools, which basically has the ability to iterate basically infinitely many times. So for offset in itertools.count, and then we're basically going to say count in increments of step size 100. And we just say this needs to be the Spotify playlist ID, and offset equals offset. That's this offset here. And the limit needs to be 100. And I'm going to do a little trick in Python that will turn this whole function into a list generator. So if you remember, every item is keyed by this items, and the items is basically what we need to loop over. So I'll just say for item in result items, and we'll just do this thing called yield item. This is perfect. And if we finish looping through the items, there's no more items left, then next will be none. So we just need to say if next is none, then return. So let's test it out. Playlist items of the Spotify playlist ID. And we just need to retrieve all of them. Items equals this. For item, yield item. Play Spotify playlist ID. Wait, what's this thing complaining about? For item in. Oh. Hold on, let's see what happened. Print resp.keys. Oh, yeah, not result, resp. Try again. Ah, did the same mistake twice. Resp. Okay, one last time. Okay.
Go get it. Nice.
All right, so now we have all 116 songs. Done.
Nice.
Okay.
Wowzer.
Wowza.
Nice.
So now we're ready to do the search results. So let's loop through every song and do a search and put it into the video IDs and then store it back into the playlist. So for item in items. So for every item now. Oh, and this is where we can use TQDM. This will make our progress bar for us. Let's just import that. Here we go. So now we can just do TQDM of our items. So we're going to loop through every item in this every song that I should have maybe just called it song. Too late. For item in TQDM of items, we basically need to now construct a search, right? So the search was done with this. So let's put this here. And for this, we need to construct a query. So let's construct the query. The query was done using this bit of code here. Paste. Okay, so we retrieve an item. We extract the song's title, the album, all of its artists, and then we build the query. And then we search YouTube Music for passing that query in to get the search results. Then we loop through the results and get the first song whose title matches. And then if it matches, we add the song to our video IDs. And then we stop. Then we stop going through the search results. If we fail to find any song that matches the title, then we print out an error for that particular query. You with me, Satch? You with me?
Yes. With you.
You ready for this? This is gonna, if this works, it's gonna be amazing. Let's go. Oh.
Module.
Oh, I didn't import TQDM correctly. how do I do this? I think it's actually from tqdm import tqdm. Let's try again. This time, if it works, this time I expect it to work. Go. Okay, it's searching.
Woo! Oh no, all blue blanks.
This is going great. Okay, so it failed on one song. Okay, failed 2 times. Okay, it's failing a lot. But it's doing all right.
It's not feeling as much as it could be.
It's interesting how it's almost like it screenshots when in what point of the progress.
Yeah, is the progress bar going in order of
The songs in your playlist, yeah.
so that's so perfect. You can like go where it is.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Now I don't get to see the progress anymore? Oh no. Okay.
Oh, like the TQDM limits how many queries you.
So there's a click on this message to get click. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, it finished. It finished.
You look at the Legend of Ashitaka.
Okay, should we see how well it did?
Yeah,
So
probably.
it got
well.
69 out of 116.
That's pretty good to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty good. I think just considering too that like not all artists have their music on it.
Yeah, like most lo-fi artists are probably small.
Yeah, it looks like I failed on most of the Kato. Okay,
Oh,
let's sorry.
So that was impressive. You can even see like what points.
yeah, that's
So like
really...
the songs between
Yeah, they tell you which number on the playlist. Failed.
Yeah.
Let's commit our changes to YouTube Music playlist.
Yeah, cool.
Uh-oh, status failed.
Yeah, cool is Ashitaka's
Why did it fail?
deer thing. What's that deer animal?
Oh, I think I may have accidentally created duplicates. Is that why? Hold on, let me try this.
I
Delete.
don't think it's a real animal.
Okay, let me try one more time.
I have Delfino Plaza. You can just add it right now. From Rifty Beats, right there.
Okay, status succeeded, Satch.
I like it when you do that right there.
All right, let's refresh.
Ashitaka. It's for Yakul.
Check it out.
And
Face him down, like. Because you just see his mouth. Yeah, like that.
You're missing the best part. I just finished and y'all are not looking.
Sorry.
look.
That's celebratory.
Yeah, I know. I was just like refreshing the page. Here's all the songs. Look. pretend like it's Look.
Yeah, all of Akisora. Girl,
KK
you...
Cruising, look at all the KK songs. KK Boss.
Well, there's so many songs.
It succeeded
You must not have... These must be the artists that are on all platforms.
Mm-hmm. Like
Yay!
they managed to them on various.
That's so crazy.
So we can find out why some of them didn't succeed. So these were
Yes.
the ones that did. But this one here, this one by Kato didn't. So maybe Kato just doesn't exist on YouTube Music. We can do a search. There's a Kato cover. But not a Kato. Oh, wait. Who's Kato here?
Oh, is it because it
Let's see Kato's profile. Oh man, Kato's cool.
These are a bunch of Eminem people. So did this
he
work?
does.
Is this correct?
Yeah, that's the guy. So he's there.
Yeah, but it
Maybe
looks
label it differently.
yeah, you know what happened? So we're doing a check, right? So first of all, those all look like videos, not like songs on YouTube Music, right? This top result is a video, not a song. Which
So
means
he uploads videos. He doesn't make it like a format for a song.
yeah. So if we change the restriction, in our code we ensured that we're only adding songs to the playlist, but we could like reduce the constraints to allow videos, for example, right? Also, I'm just observing here that the title of this song also doesn't match the title from Spotify, right? This has Kato cover in the title, right? Whereas I just searched for Sami Dare, right? So like there's a couple things I think you could do. You could just say one way to succeed all the time, for example, is as long as the top result exists and is a song or video, add it to the playlist, right? This one here is basically ensuring that at least the title matches. And in most cases, it looks like the title might be different than what we expect. Like, let's take a look at this one. Overtaken One Piece Vibes, Kato. So if we searched for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the Kato cover.
It just says Kato cover in every one. But that's probably the one we should add to the playlist, right?
I see. Like probably what happened is they posted it and didn't format it effectively for YouTube Music. They formatted it for back when YouTube was just YouTube.
Yeah, when was it published?
When was it published? I don't want it to play music because it might flag the video. Let's see. When was it published?
Do it.
They probably go to the YouTube section of.
Oh, don't worry about it then. Probably a while ago.
There we go. The 20. Well, not too long ago. It was just published as a video instead of as a song, right?
All right, Kato, it's your time. Your producer's got to republish that thing.
It does say there, follow my anime lo-fi playlist, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. He's not up on the YouTube Music.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That was very cool. I love it.
So I think that what I would do as a follow-up for myself is I think that these Kato cover is probably fine. So I'm just going to not bother checking to see if the titles match at all. I'm just going to say, Google, give me whatever the top result is, and I will trust it, as long as it's a video or a song.
Yeah, because YouTube, like, it still plays videos, even if you're really just looking for the song, right? Like, or the audio. Does it do that?
Yeah, it will. It'll play the song without the video in YouTube Music, which is good enough for me. I think it solved my problem.
So, listen to videos without needing to actually watch the video. Because, a lot of the times, videos, like, if there were, like, vlogs or maybe a lecture that has happened to be on YouTube, you could just play it.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to have the video open.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what the regular YouTube app makes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Looks beautiful.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Cool. That was fun. So we did a migration, and now I have a playlist. I'm going to rerun this after the stream ends with the updated idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so it's basically this section here. I'll just say if the result type is a song or a video, and then I'll remove this condition.
Yeah.
Just for Kato.
Yep.
Just
I mean,
for
I feel like the thing is doing a very good job of finding. Uh-oh. Playing again. Okay.
No.
I think it's doing a good job of the top result being what I want. So I'm not sure I need to really do any filtering of my own. And if it is wrong, then I'll deal with the mistakes, I guess, later. Right? All right. Should we say bye to the internets?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye, internet.
Bye, internets. That was a good stream. All right. Stop.